Marina from Darkstar Astrology, bringing you the new moon in September. So this is the first time I'm doing it with the video. So it is at 17 degrees Virgo, and it's part of a minor grand trine, and it falls on fixed star Mizar in the Great Bear. And this is a very extreme position for the new moon, where we seem to get no grey area at all. Either this energy is that of a sinner or a saint, and can equally swing from one with one extreme to another within the same day. The sadomasochistic tendency here is very strong, where the pain in our lives could be a theme for good or ill, and those touched by this new moon could become an empathic nurse or the torturer, but much depends on the consciousness of the soul involved or affected. Be very careful to stay as conscious as you can, literally, for the next 2 weeks. For those who use drugs or alcohol excessively during this time, will they lay themselves open to being possessed by the sort of demons who enjoy inflicting pain on others. On the positive side, this period is very useful for artisans and craftspersons, for it enables them to produce very fine and detailed works. Their precision and perfectionist traits are best used with styles that require intricate and delicate operations of tools like lace making, etching, or fine jewellery making. This new moon will allow us to weave our heart and soul into any of our creations, so much that we could take it very personally if anyone should insult what we produce at this time. The fixed star of this full moon is found in the Great Bear's tail, and in the macrocosm it is connected with fires of a catastrophic extent and mass calamities. In personal charts, Mizar is not helpful if conjunct the bad planets or the malefics. It is not wrong then to assume that besides these handicaps, artistic emanations can also be attributed to Mizar. And this is a quote from Vivian Robson. The energy is also good for tamers of wild beasts, that is men, to teach bears, bulls and lions to lay aside their fierceness and share human ways. And that's a quote from Manlius from the 1st century. You can see where Virgo's patience and reputation for a healer comes from. Virgo Decan too has the energy to handle the most difficult and disturbed human beings, but again that's kind of like a Persephone trait as well. So now generally the new moons want us to plant new seeds and start afresh, but we are working blind without the illumination of the sun's wisdom. So we're working 100% on our instincts. So any decisions made at this time will be from habitual drives and infantile cravings, which may not be in our best interests. So we should listen to our body as well. The new moon tarot card, the card that's associated with this decan, is extremely positive and successful. It's the 9 of Pentacles, a lovely, lovely card. You could say that this card is like a positive Pluto. Wealth. This card is about hard work and basically the hard work paying off and prosperity. Karmically, this card tells of many hard lives of hard graft. Sorry about the aeroplane. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm just under the flight path here. So the quote from Teach Me Tarot says of this card, "To say that you've made a success is an understatement, but both you and I know that it was hard earned. By the way, you have done this almost single-handedly too, with very little input from others. This card can suggest that you have made many sacrifices or denied yourself freedom and spontaneity in order to achieve your goal or dream. You are not afraid of hard work, even though you may miss out on fun in your life." So that's something to bear in mind as the meaning of the decan, and also if you're tapped into this moon in some way, because this kind of energy really can run itself ragged even if it doesn't need to. So if you're the kind of person that does this, take this opportunity at this new moon to sit back and rest on your laurels, especially if you have been working very hard, and, you know, watch those seeds bear fruit, enjoy looking at your field. So the aspects for this full moon are Moon sextile Jupiter, which is a really beautiful blossom of an aspect. It seems to breed writers of song or word in particular, since Jupiter rules publishing, so it's good for publishing at this time as well. The imagination is expansive and pioneering, inspired by overseas or inner travel. This energy will always support having strong roots though. Now, Moon trine Pluto is the other aspect. So from my research, it seems to have quite sinister overtones. I always find the sinister overtone. But, you know, even researching this, it's not me just looking through my Pluto glasses. The sensitive moon combined with a sometimes hellish transformation of the outer planet Pluto is going to be hard to carry on a personal level. So we will need to channel this intense, penetrating, and occasionally ruthless energy into something creative. The artistic products are not going to be light-hearted or bubblegummy at this time. Instead, they'll have a tinge of the underworld in them, and could make powerful political statements as well. Art made at this time will be profound and involve deep exploration of the shadow. And sometimes there will be an obsession with taboo sexual practices, either as a proclivity or something that needs to be exposed as corrupt. Now, the whole mind-grand trine that this is involved with is a gift for anyone who is out to get work published or sponsored. Anyone who has personal planets at 18-degree earth signs or water should feel the benefit of this really nice, talented aspect and the new moon. And even mutable signs will stand to get some juice out of it as well, because the moon is in a mutable sign. So there's really something for everyone on this new moon. Now, the healing meditation to make the most of this complex, dreamy, inventive and artistic energy. Make the gods work for you by immersing yourself in Virgo Decan 2 energy. So if your sun, moon or ascendant are in the mutable signs Decan 2, you might find it hard to relax and put energy into creating just for fun and not for money. So to help resist any tempting drinks or druggy demons, try focused meditation or yoga with the following props. So we have the 9 of Pentacles to gaze at, good old oats to eat, violets to adorn your table, violet as in the flower, blue lace agate crystal to hold, music in the key of D to listen to, myrrh, lavender and bergamot essential oils in a bath. So the summary, basically this continues all those complex aspect patterns that we've really had over the last two new moons now, and especially the last full moon in Pisces, and of course Virgo is opposite to Pisces, so we're on the other side of the polarity as well. This is the famous victim savior polarity, and if one has been feeling a victim of their own emotions, then grab that blue lace agate. I don't know if I've got an agate around here to hold. No, I've got other ones, but not agate. On the other hand, if you actually know how to crochet, put your heart and soul into some blue lace pattern work. It's very rare nowadays that women know how to knit or crochet like their grandmothers, but doing any sort of repetitive but fine work is probably going to be very self-soothing. These days we may find other ways to nurture ourselves, but humans are naturally very creative people. So at this new moon, find ways of actually creating something rather than consuming all the time, which is what we're constantly being encouraged to do with mass media and apps on our phone, which take all the creativity out of things. You know, what do we do with our actual hands anymore apart from this? So, you know, we take in so much in terms of entertainment, but how much are we giving out? There are, you know, there has to be a balance. So even if it's about content creation on YouTube, you are triggering your throat chakra to express itself. Giving voice to your thoughts opens you up as a channel to the divine, and divine energy is healing. Mercury is the planet that rules Virgo, and Jupiter rules Pisces on the other side of this polarity. The mercurial communicators out there who are plugged into this new moon should make themselves heard. The most talented will get noticed for, as you can see in the minor grand trine aspect pattern, Jupiter is the planet of patronage and publishing, and it's part of the minor grand trine. So, okay, so that's the new moon. Now, what am I going to talk about today? This is going to be weird because I won't be able to pause it like I normally do to gather my thoughts. So I'm just going to have to go, bah! You might see a few cuts. Anyway, so my thought for this one is this week. Well, you know, I've been on this track of narcissism. Well, there's been lots of things in the news about nationalism again, and how it's been portrayed in the media again. And, you know, of course, the media is run by the elites, you know, I mean, it is. And so then I was thinking, yeah, let's talk about elite narcissism, because you could see it very, you know, the divide and conquer strategy is very obvious when you look at the media. And it was never more obvious than when I saw, I don't know who, I'll have to find the link. Good heavens, it's the aeroplanes. Anyway, sorry, maybe I should shut the window. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, I'll be back. So yeah, there was a, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get done now for, I've got to talk about it. How can I not talk about it? There was a protest, or there have been a couple of protests in Chemnitz in Germany because a German guy was stabbed to death by a couple of immigrants apparently, and the story goes is that he went to the defense of a woman who was being sexually abused by them or attacked. I don't really know. It's very hard to get any information on this. I watched a couple of YouTubers who have been trying to get information on this. Others have said that that a couple of German natives were attacked by a gang of immigrants when they were getting money out of a cash point or something as well. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. But the point is, it's this, you know, immigrants versus the natives again. And Germany obviously has taken in a hell of a lot of refugees. You know, so then you see in the news far right protests in Germany over this. They're not. They're normal people, and you can see when you look at the footage. I mean, what some people have picked up on is, I don't know, there probably were a few assholes in the protests who are genuine freaking neo-Nazis. There's always going to be some. Of course there are. There's assholes in every race. Just want to make that clear. What I don't understand is that when it's a white asshole, like suddenly we're all assholes, you know? But when it's a Muslim asshole, not all Muslims. So why's that? Just want to drop that in there as a thought that comes to mind. Yeah, but anyway, this triangulation that I wanted to talk about, because I'm not blaming the immigrants, really. I mean, it's hard not to when they do silly things like, you know, attack women. So yeah, it's hard not to get angry with them, but it's a different mentality. And when you mix these very different mentalities, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. So the people to get angry with are the bloody elites, because they know what the fuck they're doing. Sorry for swearing. They know what they're doing. They're doing this deliberately. And they want to keep the plebs down. They want to keep the, you know, the native working classes of whatever country it is. Doesn't really matter. It's always the natives of that, the native British or the native German. You know, I don't think a white guy born in China is going to be a native Chinese ever. And I'm not a native, well, I call myself Britalian because I'm not British. I have not one drop of British blood in me, or English blood rather. British is kind of an interesting word because there was a British Empire. So you could kind of say, I could say maybe I'm British because, but I'm clearly not English or Scottish or Irish, you know. So Southern European through and through. And we Sicilians know about it, okay, because we're on the front line of it. So if anyone wants to start throwing labels at me, the R word, whatever, I don't give a crap because we've been on the front line of it. And I've got Semitic blood anyway, so I'm a mix. But whoever invaded us first, or the original native blood of Sicily, I've still got in me, and it's still a bit angry stuff. So yeah. Anyway, gone off the topic a little bit there. But this is the narcissist thing where the elites will play the new golden child is the immigrants, you know, and the native child, you're the scapegoat. So if you protest about anything, we will gaslight you. We'll put news reports saying that you're neo-Nazis, and especially Germans, freaking out, they can't say a damn thing because they'll always get that thrown at them. So what, they're going to have to be doormats for the rest of their life and have everyone walk over them just because of you know, one asshole, or quite a, you know, I don't know. Oh, treading on eggshells. Hey, treading on eggshells. This is the narcissistic child. I've been scared to speak out because it's like you get gaslighted. You get gaslighted when you're grown up for speaking out about the truth in your family. Then when you're older and you sort of see it in the world around you, then you could get banned off YouTube, or you could be gaslit there, or being called words, or blah, blah. Anyway, so here we go. When they were interviewing, there was a very, well, I'll make a judgment. Very lefty-looking journalist trying to interview some Germans protesting in Chemnitz, and you could see, you know, the difference. These working class Germans who just have had enough because they live with it every day. I know this guy was saying 5 years ago, before it all started, or 4 years ago, he goes, I could walk into the centre of town, no problem. Now I walk into the centre of town with my daughter and I'll get, he said, well-dressed immigrants with mobile phones in suits coming up to his daughter going, you want to have sex with me? You want to have sex with me? They're not poor. You can't start saying, oh, it's because they're poor, disadvantaged. Clearly not. And they're still doing it. No one wants to freaking live with that. So so this journalist is going, you know, holding the mic going, ooh. And he was surrounded by these very sort of strident working class Germans who looked like they wanted to freaking punch the lights out of the journalists, you know, because they're the ones I'm the most angry with. So you're freaking lying liars. So they're the ones, and they don't, or maybe they're so brainwashed that they don't even know they're lying, and they're just putting out this stuff and abusing normal average people with their lies, and making them, disempowering them to even protest about what the government's doing. We have this democracy, which is a joke, because if you vote it, then you're going to be all populist. Anyway, so I'm probably going to get some interesting responses to this. And yeah, what has this got to do with astrology? Everything to do with astrology, because we want to try and understand the archetypes of the world, and I'm trying my best to do that. Then, you know, Ceres, Pluto, it's an old myth. Persephone was abducted by Pluto, the elite, the wealth, the bankers, the paedophiles, It's in the news all the time. It's in our freaking faces every time. And I'm just going to what? Say, oh, everything's fine. No. So yeah, so that's the new moon September. Thanks for listening. If you want more of this stuff, become a Patreon, because then I can do more videos and not worry about being demonetized or anything like that. So thanks so much. All the best. Bye-bye.